Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, if you think that was cool, behind me I have a 2025 Discovery LXE 44B done in the all-new Odyssey exterior. This coach is shown with option 710, which are the blacked out wheels on front and back and the tag axle. So Odyssey is the blackout package, really cool. Very lucky today because we are here in the paint facility on-site in Decatur at our manufacturing plant. And we do have Doug Turner here to give us some tips and some pros for the blackout exteriors on RVs today. The automotive industry in that space, they've been doing black cars and blackout packages and black wheels and black accents for years. It's just now starting to catch up to the RV space, and we think we've done a fantastic job providing the coolest products on the ground today to be offered to you, our customer. Hey, so as I mentioned, Doug Turner, our director of paint here at our factory in Decatur, Indiana, is with us today. Say hi, Doug.
Hello.
Yep. Doug Miller, Doug Turner. Let's keep it straight. So Doug's been doing this stuff for years, truly a professional when it comes to paint and the application, the care, how we get this awesome look on the side of the coach. What we find most is when you're looking at some of the blackout packages in the industry today offered by other manufacturers, is you're going to get a black paint, maybe with an accent piece, and then a couple other colors that are kind of in that gray family. And talking to Doug when we were thinking about putting this blackout kit together, with the painter mindset kind of kicked in on him. He's like, hey, how can we take this thing a step further? How can we make this the best experience and the best ownership opportunity for our customers? And with his expertise came drop shadows and fades and things like that. And when I say drop shadows and fades, I'm talking about a fade that's going to go from it looks like charcoal here, like a charcoal color that's going to fade down into a white, so in between, which is, it's not an easy process. It's not like just taking a spray paint and painting one thing over the top of the other. It doesn't work that way. The drop shadows are the same way. The drop shadows have to be lined underneath the bottom side here, which is kind of going to give you that 3D effect where that top graphic is laying on top of the other one. So since I have the expert here, I want to be quiet for a second and ask him just how that's done. So
yeah, so basically the colors would be put on in base coat without the drop shadows, stripped down. You'd have the graphics, and then they'll re-prep the graphic that the drop shadow and the fade are going to go in. And it takes a skilled custom painter to do that because, you know, there's some steps involved without going into too many details, but you're going from one color and then you're fine tuning it, and your spray technique has to be right to get it to fade into the next color without showing right where you stop spraying. Once that fades on, then he'll get a smaller gun, get his black paint, and lay in the drop shadow.
So it truly takes a custom person with a skill set to be able to do those drop shadows and fades. And it also takes the same amount of skill set to know where they go, where they start, where they stop. And then what Doug brought to the table was, hey, let's take it another step further and let's just not do a fade through here. If you kind of come back with me, you're going to see even more up in through here, where you have that same kind of technique, and then you'll see the drop shadow. So as you look across the side of this Odyssey, we call it the Blackout Edition custom paint job. It truly is a custom paint job that is automotive finishes. It is high-end detail. Every place you look has something a little bit nice, a little bit more special to it. And being the blacked out, you're definitely going to stand out in the campground. You're going to stand out going down the road. You're going to stand out, our coaches, on the dealer's lots, in your driveway, in your neighborhoods, whatever the case may be. Some of the questions that I've received on the blackouts, just from people here internally, is, does it affect your maintenance? Are there any other kinds of things or specialties I have to concern myself with as far as maintenance to the coach?
You know, really there's not. You know, the coatings are exactly the same as we use on all our painted product. We did on this particular paint scheme use a jet black, non-metallic black, so it gives it a real deep, rich look. So I just advise people that are washing their coach to stay away from the nylon brushes, use microfiber material and stuff like that. But they can still continue with their normal wax process that they like, ceramic process that they like. You know, all that's the same. So
Okay.
it's, you know, like taking care of a car.
Perfect. So what is the brand name? There's a lot. We've been through a lot over the course of the years that I've been here. lots of different manufacturers, lots of different manufacturing processes and paint applications. So today I'm under the impression that we are the family of Sickens Paint.
We are. Axo Nobel Sickens is our supplier. Yeah.
All right. Just a ballpark, and this is for my knowledge and probably those that are watching, this is roughly how many man hours? I mean, we talked about 4 different colors, plus the fades, plus the drop shadows, and did you mention the coats of clear yet?
I have not, but there are 5 coats of clear on this.
So 5 coats of clear on top of there to give that high gloss finish. Discovery LXE gets a cut. Does it get a cut and a buff?
It does not. It gets what we call a double clear process.
Okay.
So we put 3 coats of clear on it, about 8 gallons. And then we use a fine sandpaper, like 600 grit. And we actually sand part of the clear away. That's going to make the lines so you can't feel them. That's going to take the texture out of the first clear job, any texture you had in the base coat that shows through. And then we give it 2 more coats of clear, which gives it the high gloss shine you see.
Okay, so you mentioned 8 gallons of clear. That's a lot of clear coat.
That's for 3 coats. So after you get the second stage of clear, that's going to be another 6 gallons.
Okay, so that's 14 gallons of, excuse me, whatever the math may be of clear. But what about total gallons? Like, what about total from the time the coach comes in to the blacks, to the silvers, to the whites, to the drops, to the fades, to all that stuff? What would you estimate? I know it's rough numbers. What would you estimate how many gallons of paint go on this coat?
Yeah, I can go into that, and kind of back to the man hours you were talking about. So to get a quality paint job, you have to prep it right, and there's a lot of time going in that. So from the time we take the unit from production, prep it, paint it, clear coat it, and detail it, this probably has 280 to 300 man hours.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
You know,
so when I come out and I say, hey, we need to change that exterior color on that coach, and you're giving me that one,
right.
Now I get it. You're already 100 hours baked into the coach with however many gallons of paint. So once it's in there, it's baked. Yeah, so absolutely. We want to know ahead of time what colors we're painting the coach, and we've got a lot of flexibility here in our paint facility. You know, we're nearly 900 feet long in here, and whatever, I think it's 150 feet wide. We can fit a lot of coaches in here. There's a lot of expertise that happens. A lot of great things go on. Things like this, and we're not stopping at Discovery LXE. I know that's the one we're focusing on right now and the one we're kind of showcasing here. But we also have blackout editions for some of our gas models. We have blackout editions for our sister company, the Holiday Rambler product. This happens to be called Odyssey, as I mentioned earlier in the video. The wheels are part of the 710 blackout option package. So ask your dealer about that. Ask your salesperson at the dealership about that. Go search our website. They're actually up and live on there. And then, tell your friends if they're interested in an RV. This is the place to go. This is a place to be. Guys like this are what makes these things come to life. From a white box that's all fiberglass to something as gorgeous as this in the blackout edition is a home run. So thank you very much. Doug Miller, Doug Turner, Fleetwood RV.